Hello everybody, we're here today with another great artist. Everybody, Abi Rose Kelly.
Do I wait?
How are you doing today? Do whatever you want to do.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks very much.
Cool.
Abby, tell me what you do musically, how long have you been doing it, and when did you start?
I'm a singer and I play rhythm guitar, but rhythm guitar is nothing compared to the lead guitarist world. And I've just got into production, so I'm trying to sort of incorporate that by trying to use backing tracks and stuff when I'm playing live. But yeah, I like writing my own songs. I've done that for about, how old am I? About 6 years now. So yeah,
Okay.
Started writing with my dad because he wrote like poems and stuff, and it sort of came from him reading poems to me to writing poems together to sort of transitioned into them ending up being songs when we realised that I could hold a tune, which we never thought I could. I remember being like 5 or 6. And do you know, like the nativities at school when you have to like audition? I remember singing trying to audition for a solo, and it was just dreadful. So from like 5 to about 16, we thought that I couldn't sing for the life of me. So it was a happy accident, really.
What happened there in between that you realized that this is what I want to do?
Well, I started acting for like first and foremost. That was my first ever love. Like I did acting for years and years and years, and when I was 13, I made a transition from just a drama school to it was like a triple threat. So you did like singing, dancing, and acting, and I still can't dance for the life of me. But after I got over the fear of singing around other people, and people actually heard me singing, they were like, oh, you're not actually half bad, so you should maybe carry on with this. And then I remember singing for my mum and dad, and they were like, oh no, actually, yeah, your voice is matured, you sound all right now. And yeah, it just went from there, really. I never thought I was going to be the next like big amazing singer. I do think that I'm not limited in a vocal range but I'm not going to be like the next belter. Like I'm not like a ballad singer or anything. I can't. I'm not built for that. I can't.
Okay.
I can never. I can't do a Whitney Houston song or something like that. No way. Keep that away from me, for your own good. But yeah, just after I started realising that I could sing, it sort of turned into songs. I started playing the guitar, and then it was kind of just like, I wouldn't say hobby. It was more of just I don't know, just something that was. It was just really nice to sort of just lose yourself doing something like that. You know, I feel like it brings you when you're writing and stuff, and you find like, and you've written it yourself, and you're singing it back to yourself, and you're like, wow, I've written a full song. That's really cool. Whereas the past like 4 hours just gone, I've just been sat there writing.
Is music some kind of escapism?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
that you go to whenever, for example, you feel
100%.
sad or something?
Yeah, I feel like that's why music is the way it is now, because it's everybody's sort of safe haven. Everybody has their favourite artist, and you'll ask them why they love them so much, and like one of the first things they'll say is because of they're relatable, and I think that's what keeps music going, is the people being able to tell their versions of stories and having their versions of music out there and what their take on it, and other people being like, oh, I actually really that resonates with me.
So what was your parents and family reaction when you were starting to show some kind of an interest toward music?
I've been really lucky. They've always been very what's the word, like accepting of whatever I wanted to do. They weren't like, no, you need to get a real job and go to university and get.
They never said that?
No.
Wow.
Which, like, I know that I'm really lucky to have parents like, because I just think that they just knew that like they saw how happy it made me, and with acting and then singing, like they saw that was where I was the happiest kid. I was a bit of an anxious kid, so for them to then it would almost be unfair for them to turn around and be like, oh, but this is just a hobby. you're not going to build a future. You need to have a plan B or something. So they never had that, which was really nice, and sort of figured it out on my own.
Anybody else in the family musical?
Yeah, my big sister's musical.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
What does she do?
She's more of a pop singer.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. She lives in Coventry, so she's doing the rounds down there. She's with BBC introducing a lot. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was just laughing because I always think whether my mum was musical, but she always tells me a story of when she went on holiday to Greece and she was on the karaoke machine and they turned the electricity off when she was singing a song because it was that bad. So definitely.
How old was she?
Because she was that bad, they turned it off. She was like, she must have been like 30 or something.
Okay.
So she was definitely not a very good singer.
Okay.
And I got being able to write songs from my dad because I say like he wrote poems and stuff, so that sort of came from there.
Do you think that helped you, like being in a family that your dad writes poems and your sister is musical?
Yeah.
Did that encourage you
Definitely.
to be musical?
It shows you that there's a less serious side of life. I mean, I know that when you're a kid, you're not supposed to take anything serious,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a completely when you sort of get into that mindset of creating things and wanting to create things from scratch, it's just a completely different way of looking at life and at how you want to live life. And I was really lucky. Definitely really lucky to grow up in such an accommodating household and watching my big sister. We never lived together. She was always she's quite a bit older. She hate me for saying that now, but she definitely is quite a bit older than me. But seeing her going around doing her like gigs and stuff and supporting her when I was a lot younger, no, it was really nice. It's really nice because it's just a positive. It brings like music and stuff. It just brings a lot of positivity, I guess.
I assume a lot of musicians and a lot of people who are starting to learn an instrument,
Mm-hmm.
right? They struggle to define themselves. Like, I started playing piano for 6 months. Am I a piano player? Or I started playing guitar. Am I a guitar player? So how do you define yourself? I remember that you told me that you're a rhythm guitar player. How do you differentiate yourself that I'm like...
Well, I call myself a rhythm guitarist, but to be honest, I wouldn't even put myself in the bracket of being a guitarist.
Why? What was it?
Well, I don't know. I think there's, you've got your people who study it and go through all the grades, and then you've got the people who sort of like learn from YouTube and stuff, and I was definitely the learn from YouTube. I wish now, looking back on it, that when I was like 7 or 8, I started doing... my grades then, and I could have been a wizard by 15.
Okay.
But it's not the way it went, and I'm still learning. Like, I feel like you can't learn enough about music.
Oh, of
and
course.
With playing rhythm guitar, I say rhythm because I tend to write my songs acoustically first, and then it'll go from acoustic to electric and have like a backing band and whatnot. But it's always the chords that come first. I don't necessarily write riffs and stuff. I'm trying to incorporate that now, but how it started was definitely just your basic chords, and then I built it from there. But yeah, there's definitely greater guitarists and musicians out there.
No, but the thing is, I always have this kind of discussion with musicians that there are a lot of amazing guitar players out there that never read anything in terms of the theory of music or anything, but they're amazing in this instance guitar players or piano players or whatever instrument. And there are a lot of people who have studied and they are like amazing instrument players as well.
Yeah.
So how do you define? Did you have a challenge yourself to be able to come to some kind of a conclusion and say...
Yeah, I definitely think I'm still on my journey of becoming, the musician that I want to be.
Of course. I love that word because it's always a journey.
Yeah.
You start doing something, you can even start being a doctor, But like 40 years down the line, you're obviously way more experienced,
Yeah.
right?
It's the time that you give yourself, and regrettably, it's like they say that you know an hour a day practicing and stuff, and I've definitely I've not stuck to that. You know, I can go a couple of days without playing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's just incredibly determined people out there, and they're just absolute wizards, and I am so envious of them. But I know that one day I will be where I want to be with guitar playing, piano, because with production and stuff, I like I've kind of moved away from just playing the guitar. I like playing you know, like MIDI orchestras and stuff where you got your MIDI keyboards, you can be any instrument. So I'm sort of trying to learn a way around the piano, and it's whichever steps you're taking to write the music that you want to write, as long as you get there, like you get to where you want to be, and as well with music, it's like you're always looking at the next person, especially with like guitarists and stuff. You're always comparing your skills, and the second you stop doing that and just start comparing your latest song to your last song, or the new one that you're writing, and the one you wrote before, you know, you need to start competing with yourself instead of other people. It's definitely something I've learned the hard way, but I've learned.
I think that's one of the biggest life challenges.
100%, yeah.
I gotta tell myself somehow and convince myself that comparing myself to somebody else is not really a good thing, because I don't know what other privileges others had in their life. You know, they might have like 100 grand of finance sitting there in their bank account to be able to do like a proper production, whatever they're doing, the music video, the song and everything. But I gotta compare myself to my own past, as you said, right? How do you convince yourself?
I just try to every day until I believe it, I guess. Because I know that is the way forward, is to definitely, you know, everyone should be, you know, you should look at everyone as a friend. Like if you see a band that's doing really well, and maybe at one time you were on a similar level and it seems like this year's been their year, it might be your year next year, or maybe in 4 years' time, but you know, you can't have all these negative and start honing these negative feelings towards these people because they've got their break and they're doing on their journey, you know. And it is a battle, because you can find yourself sort of being quite jealous and envious, but then you just have to remind yourself that everybody's music is different. As much as, you know, you can play the same chords, you can write similar words, but if it comes from a different brain, it's a completely different song, and it's always going to be that way. And if you fully believe in yourself, then your time is going to come, I think. And I'm just trying to live by that mantra and just sort of, you know, take
absolutely.
That.
That's the way it is. Absolutely. How many songs have you released so far?
6 or 7.
6 or 7 songs.
But that 7 one could either be an 8, because I've got one coming out.
During what period of time?
I think I released my first song in the December of 2020, so just before
December 2020.
Yeah, just before COVID started.
If you had the chance to choose between quality and quantity, which one would you choose?
I would definitely choose quality.
100%.
The way social media is with like TikTok and a song, like you could have one song released, and if that's the thing that pops off on TikTok, you know, that's gonna, you know, blow up. And that'll be it. And so you just can't really predict the way the music and like the music industry and everything is, like where it's going and how it's changing, because it's constantly changing.
Have you seen the AI that makes music? Yeah,
I think so. But then I also saw something about AI ripping off art, like because I seen something about like painting, like AI painting.
Yeah. And
it's like how they've put artists' things into the machine and not giving artists credit to create it. So I've sort of not really looked at anything else, because I don't know
how does it exactly works, because I'm assuming the machine, the program, is going to use whatever it can find in the internet, right? Yeah. But how can the machine realize I have the right to use this? I don't have the right to use this.
Yeah, exactly.
So because the combination of what it's going to bring to you, whether it's going to be a painting, a song, a cover art, whatever, it's going to be something that somebody else holds the right for it, and down the line you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, and they can, yeah.
You know, it's a bit tricky now, but I assume that down the line, it's going to get smarter and smarter, and it's going to be able to recognize, okay, this is...
It's quite scary, isn't it? Thinking about it.
To be honest, with a lot of industries, it's like this. You know, even copywriters, you know, you can... have you seen the chat GPT or something? I'm not really sure. So you go there and you ask the AI to write down a business plan, a marketing plan, and it writes a whole marketing plan with all the analytics.
Ow! It's freaky and scary, and I don't want anything to do with it. It's terrifying. No,
but I'm assuming
really cool.
that's like a place that we're going toward right now, right?
Well, yeah, but I hope that there's kind of like a hold up, hang on a second.
There's some kind of a break in between.
Yeah, people just
that we can pull. Yeah, hopefully. Do you feel any kind of pressure from social media that you have to look in certain way, say certain things, or behave in certain way?
I think that most of the pressure would probably is maybe not from social media itself, but it's from how I'm perceiving the way social media is working. So, for example, like we spoke about TikTok before, if you're posting like 10 TikToks a day, you're more likely getting on someone's For You page than you are if you just post one every week. And I sort of had that battle because I'm not great in front of a camera. Like I used to, you know.
Me neither.
I can't really look at myself, can't really listen to my voice back.
That's why the camera is there, not there.
I sort of struggle with that. So, you know, the idea of being a TikToker kind of freaked me out a bit. I did try, and I'm sure I'll find my niche. I feel like everyone's got a niche, it'll take a while to work out, and then as soon as I work it out, then my content it'll just all make sense. But right now, I'm just trying to keep my social medias, my Instagram. And just as honest as I can be, as much as I want to share, because you know, don't know who's looking at it, but
does it get overwhelming keeping up with the pace?
I feel like right now, because I'm an independent artist, I'm not signed, I've not got a manager, I've not got an agent or whatever. The pressure again is only from myself and feeling like I'm just procrastinating and I should be doing more. But, you know, you see people who have got managers and stuff, and it's like the pressure to keep up this content and, you know, keep going viral and keep making songs that are going to go viral. It's a lot of pressure, and I do feel for the people that are like having to do it, you know. So, again, yeah, I would say that any pressure that I'm feeling is definitely just from myself. I just need to chill.
Have you studied music?
I studied music performance in college for 2 years, and then now I'm doing a dual honours, or a joint honours or whatever they're called, in music production and then film and visual culture. So I'm doing half a degree, well, a full degree, half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, so music production on one side and then film on the other, yeah.
So far, do you think, was that helpful?
I think before I decided to start studying it, I was already like a songwriter. The only reason I wanted to do music production at uni was to broaden the horizon, because like right now what is available on a laptop, you can have a recording studio just instantly. You just open your laptop and you've got a whole world there. So I wanted to broaden my horizon on that and learn about synthesizers and incorporating all that stuff into my music. But I'm still, you know, working on trying to
the amount of sound and, as you said, the horizons of the production in a laptop.
I know, it's crazy.
It's just so, oh my God.
Compared to like what it was like even 10, 15 years ago, like it is completely mental. Like,
absolutely.
Like there's artists now that are in the charts, and they've literally made their music on GarageBand, and that's like free on an iPad, and it is just mental. And I thought, because I did a year for a degree of music performance, and then I thought, this isn't kind of the path that I want to go down anymore. I want to sort of learn more about the production side, because anything that I'm going to be performing is going to be what I've created, and not that they can't teach you that, because that's not what I'm trying to say, because I feel like there's music performance courses are great for everyone, and it, you know, especially building your confidence and meeting people, definitely networking and stuff like that. But for me, when I made the transition from studying performance to production, it was just because of the songs that I wanted to create and write. It was, I wanted them to come from me, and it sort of be like, you know, like my own, just like a gig, sort of like a play, or in a sense.
If you want to find collaborators and if you want to find instrument players, how do you do it?
First thing I did when I moved to Liverpool, I joined any Facebook group. Facebook groups are the best place to go, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who just are waiting for someone to be like, oh, does anybody want to come and jam on Thursday night? And there's hundreds of people on Facebook that would just leap at the opportunity and be like, hell yeah, I'll be there. And I've met quite a few people from. I met a drummer that was with me for like 2 years off Facebook, and he was great. And and I've met loads of people. So yeah, just joining Facebook groups and asking questions. So that's how I started. I asked where the best open mics were, and then you just build relationships with these people on the groups, and then before you know it, you've got like a pool of people, and it's like, oh, I know a violin player who can come in and do this quick take, or I know a saxophone player who's just on this group. So yeah, there's just hundreds of people waiting to, and a lot of the time they're just the same as you, so it's not like you're not forking out hundreds of pounds to get like a session musician to record for you. You've got someone who completely just is in love with music and playing the instrument or writing, whatever, and they just want to do any of their free time, and they want to spend it on creating and sharing music. So why not just tap into what's there? Yeah.
So Facebook groups, and be open to talk to people, ask questions,
100%,
get involved. Abby, tell me, do you have mentor?
I've definitely had a few.
Okay.
My first college tutor, he was called Mike. I feel like every music teacher is called Mike. Well, not every single one, but every establishment I've been to, there's been a Mike. But my first college tutor, he just said it how it was, and he was a bit of a dick, but he was just completely 150% honest all of the time, and he would tell you if he thought you were a bit shite and you needed to work on something, and he would just give you the brutal honesty of
how old were you in that time?
16, 17, yeah. So you can handle it. It's not like he's not like Whiplash, and he's like, go again, screaming at you.
In a way that you would be able to handle.
Yeah, yeah. He's just honest, because I feel like sometimes you might have, you can be not naive, for lack of a better word, naive.
Sure.
And you need to realise that there is, like the music industry, there is nasty people who do want to. If you're talented and you're naive, then you're gonna get used. You're gonna get sold.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden you're not gonna own any of your own music, and it's just gonna be a shit show. And you're gonna
absolutely.
And so he sort of opened my mind to the fact that the industry is kind of something that you have to navigate quite carefully. Don't just say yes to everything. You have to, so he taught me a lot there, and that was really useful. And I think anyone can really be a mentor, really.
Obviously, when you're in this industry right now, you're gonna have comments on your work. How do you differentiate that this person is honest, but this person is right, but this person is wrong, or this person is just discouraging me?
I think it's a gut feeling more than anything.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you truly wholeheartedly believe that what you've created is good and or great or amazing, then if someone you can sort of tell someone's vibe if they're trying to deter you because they might be a bit jealous or something. You can tell that. But someone who wants to give constructive criticism, they're like it's just their entire vibe and their tone, and you can definitely cipher them out. You can tell when something is like someone's just trying to push you off in the wrong direction because they're a bit jealous. Yeah. So I think you can definitely see the
You can
see the
definitely
difference
tell.
between the two of them.